Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Return of Whatever. I'm Herbert Midgley.
And I'm Amit Bedia.
And we're in living video.
Yep. It's been, what episode are we at? We're probably at episode 76, 78, 7. I would call this episode 2009 part 2.
I think that's probably the best. Man, Dan, you look sharp, man. You got that stoic look, man.
Yeah. Dan, definitely, you know what? Nobody can beat Dan in the staring contest. Ever.
That is true.
I mean, and his ventriloquism, you can't tell if his mouth is not moving at all.
It's a gift. Many hours of Jedi training.
All right. For obviously, this is kind of the second episode you guys have done this year, and it's been a while since we've really done regular episodes. Do you want to talk about what the show's about, or how the show became what it is?
Sure. But basically,
you've been with it the longest, Herb, right? You were with it when it was whatever.
Yeah. Back in the day,
and now it's Return of Whatever.
Back in my day, I had a friend that was working in a tech shop, and then he had a friend that was working at a very low power TV station, and so low powered it wasn't on cable. You had to use rabbit ears to pick it up. And I saw the first episode or two, and I knew I needed to bogart my way into it. So I did. So I said, "Hey man, I'd love to be in the show." And they said, "Come on out." All right. And I just kind of never left. So, and sadly, that TV station was sold, and the whatever show came out. And by that point, podcasting started to come into fruition, and we started doing we kind of talked together a little bit. By that point, I think we were pretty much all the three of us weren't together too much anymore.
Yeah, we were all in different physical locations, as we are now. But at that point, we were in far different physical locations. And, we had a passion for technology and education, and we wanted to let that out there, ride the wave.
Yeah.
And for me, at least, a lot of it was that, and just because there weren't a lot of podcasts that dealt specifically with educational technology, and really just a lot of it was just keep in touch with you guys,
Mm-hmm. Well, the fans we had a pretty good bit of subscribers at one point, and I think we had a lot of fans that liked that we were a clean podcast. We had a good banter, and it'll take us a couple weeks to kind of get that banter to come back up again, where we can read each other's minds almost and whatnot.
Yeah.
We still got Feedburner still shows 13 subscriptions.
That's right.
And minus the three of us, that's 10.
I don't subscribe. Come on. I have better uses for my time.
11.
Well, since we have this video thing, what I plan to do is throw this up on the YouTube also as well, and that kind of brings us to our topic today. Is that since all three of us are kind of away from one another, and technology has really changed greatly. Golly, it changes greatly every month basically. But now a lot of us are getting a lot of entertainment, legitimately entertainment off the web, and I guess Dan, why don't we start with you, because I know you're a fan of the Netflix.
I am a fan of the Netflix, yes. For me, it was like both a financial decision and a ease of use decision. So I was paying like $45 a month or something like that for like standard cable, and I was really getting frustrated with the amount of like commercials and how few good shows that were on there that I really enjoyed watching. And so I got to looking at other options, and Netflix was out there, and it had been out there for a while. And then what really appealed to me was that they had moved a lot of their content into like a streaming video format. and more so every day. And so and that was only like about $18 or something for 3 DVDs out of the time through the mail, and then unlimited movies through their video on demand service. And so, I was looking at saving more than half my cost by canceling cable and subscribing to Netflix. And then in addition, just after I subscribed, they added this feature where you can stream things to your Xbox 360, which actually works quite well. And I have one of those, so I can watch movies, and they have a pretty good assortment of stuff, movies, TV, whatever.
But not whatever on TV, unless you've got my solution.
But well, the Xbox 360 can be connected to a TV, so you can watch it on a TV, right? So yeah, I mean that's pretty much taken care of there. I mean I don't really have a TV or use a TV per se. I just have like my 32-inch computer monitor, and I like have my Xbox hooked up to it and my PC hooked up to it, and so I actually think the Xbox actually handles the streaming a little better than the PC does. I don't know, maybe it's not much, but it's really nice, and I've been using it quite a bit.
Well, I know there's about 12,000 movies and TV shows that are on there, right? On the Netflix.
Well, I think on the downloadable or the streaming version, they've got that number very cut back, right? Isn't that correct, Dan?
It's certainly not all of their stuff. I mean, the DVD stuff is, I mean, if I had to guess, like 98% of every DVD that's ever been made. And then on demand is more like 20 or 30%, but it's still like a monster amount of DVDs. Like they have every episode of every season of Magnum PI pretty much on streaming. And,
wow!
And it's got like a whole bunch of like they have some current stuff too. Like I was watching a CSI New York. They have like about half of the seasons on streaming.
I've looked a little bit, and they have one of the greatest movies ever, Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, as a streaming movie.
That's well, speaking of bad decisions, now I actually have a solution that I went about, which is a little different from your solution, where there is no subscription fee in my solution other than my internet price. I went ahead and purchased. I was an early adopter for the Apple TV product. I'm a big fan of the product. I thought it was a really good idea. The idea is that you pretty much have your iTunes library directly hooked into your TV, right? Well, over the last year or so, a product came out, which is a skin over the Xbox Media Center open source project called Boxy. Now, Boxy allows you to access through your Apple TV, which is a set-top device hooked to your TV, lets you access many streaming internet stations and internet radio. I mean, some of the things that it allows you to access are Hulu, Juiced, BBC, MTV, CBS, and there's a huge amount of video out there, and the quality is really good. I've been very impressed, and for me it was a simple $200 initial cost, and that's it. And then my monthly internet cost, of course. But that's it. That's all I've had, and I get most or a good chunk of TV shows like House, Life, Heroes. They're about a week staggered behind their actual play date on broadcast or on cable. So pretty happy with it.
And also, you have the option if you do want to watch a movie, you can rent a movie and watch it that way.
Oh yeah,
as well.
I mean the Boxy project is something that you have to actually hack into your Apple TV, and they've made it very simple to hack it into the Apple TV. Other things that you have access to just by the Apple TV on its own is you have access to watching video podcasts or audio podcasts, and you can purchase them or you can download them directly to the device. So in the case of Return of Whatever, I can now watch that on my TV, especially since we have a video version. But even if we had an audio version, I could watch it on my TV. Just have to set up a subscription through iTunes.
Yeah, yeah. A couple months back, you graciously let me stay at your house, and I actually was watching some of the Revision 3 podcast um,
Mm-hmm.
on your Apple TV, and I thought, man, this is great.
Yeah. One of the other cool things is it also has hooks into YouTube, so you can watch YouTube videos on there. Um, and
Yeah, I think personally the very best thing about the Apple TV is watching Vinny Lava on my big screen TV.
yeah, actually, Dan's also been to my house and has played with Apple TV with a lot of people around, watching lots of really viral videos on there.
Well, I mean, on your flat screen TV, I mean, I think the image quality looks really good. Um,
Yeah.
Hey Dan, on the Netflix side, on the streaming video, I haven't had a chance to watch a Netflix streaming video. How does it look on the computer?
Um, some of it depends a bit on the original source material. So, like, 'cause some of like the really old stuff that was on a crappy transfer DVD or something is not going to look that great. But for the most part, it looks really good. I mean, it's full screen, pretty much DVD quality, and some of it's even like high def, so it's pretty nice.
Oh, one thing I will put out there for anybody who's interested in going the route of getting a media center. There are a couple other media centers out there, um, but the one thing I would say about the Apple TV with the boxy enhancement or the boxy tack on it, they are working on getting Netflix added to that, so you can watch Netflix through there too.
Sweet,
Um,
that would be cool.
One of the other things I found out recently when I was going through some tech articles is that there are now going to be TVs that are coming out, flat panel TVs, that will have a Netflix player built in.
Wow.
So, you'll have the ability to stream your Netflix directly to your TV with no device.
Well, what I'm looking into, Dan, is, and I think I may do this for a month or two and try it out. Is that Netflix has a plan for $8.99, and it's one DVD out, but it's the 12,000 videos you can watch online. Um,
Yeah.
so for me, it looks like, what is it, like a day or two turnaround, 2 or 3 days at most for a hard DVD to come to your house.
I usually get I usually get them about 2 days after I mail it. So if I mail it like Monday morning, I'll receive it on Wednesday.
For me, I can live with that. And what I'm into is independent films a lot. Um, really good avant-garde, artsy type movies, those type of things. Stuff that I can't really go out and just go down to the store and pick up. And I think it looks like Netflix has a pretty good bit of things like that.
Well, one thing I discovered, and as you know, Herb, I've been trying to learn to play the guitar. There's actually a fair amount of guitar learning videos on Netflix.
Fascinating. Well,
Mhm.
Yeah, I put a bunch of them in there.
what I use a lot of times is because I watch a lot of movies anyways at my house. So some things I want to watch are necessary narrative things, and I've been using YouTube for a lot of things. I've been off basically. I'm because I talk for 2 hours a day. I have a lot of time off. I have that month off. That's part about being a teacher is that you got some downtime, um, which I put to good
Yeah,
use.
part-time job.
Well, man, yeah, I know. But I've been making a lot of videos, and I've been working on a screenplay, and I've been um, making a lot of music and so forth like that. But what I've been using YouTube for is studying everything from religion to um, watching folks, uh, some blues players on YouTube. And also I use YouTube like all the time, like even little simple things like something I can't figure out in Excel or something I can't figure out in Final Cut Express. I type that in, and someone has a little tutorial on there for me to watch. Um, so I, I think for educational tool, and I know for educational tool, you can learn a great deal from these services. I have tried Hulu, which is you watch a couple of commercials on there, and recently I think YouTube has thrown some movies on there, like the whole complete 3 seasons of the original Star Trek is on YouTube right now. But there's like
Yeah,
four
but
little
that's
commercials in there.
that's actually on multiple services like Juiced, Hulu, and YouTube.
Yeah,
But at that point, Hulu has the best quality of the three services.
I like Hulu. Hulu
Hmm.
has I mean, if I'm like in Stratford Cast and I say, well, let me just go watch a movie, you know, gratis, and that's the place I'll go at that
Hmm.
point there. So I think all those options are really cool options, and really, 3 or 4 years ago, not even that long ago, you wouldn't have these type of options as much. We really have seen the explosion of video that we are doing a video cast
Yeah.
for
What
very
was
little
it?
money now.
It was 3 years ago. We started the whatever, a return of whatever podcast, and that was audio, and that was a huge thing. Then the with the invent or when the not the invent, but the um, acceptance of YouTube or of video services on the internet, like YouTube, and the social media, social reporting, and social networking via that system. This has become. I mean, the internet. I guess the pipes are filled with videos now, and people are willing to watch. There's an audience for everything.
Well, the thing is like that. One of the big things because of me as a teacher's education, I always would hope that we had like full channels of the Discovery Channel, the Learning Channel, those type of thing, the PBS parts that taught you stuff. And I remember had one person say, well, if there was a market for it, there would be channels like that all over the place. And I guess commercially, it just wasn't going to work. Same thing like Tech TV. Apparently, that business model just didn't work. I mean, there was a lot of us that like technology TV, like learning
Hmm.
how to fix computers and all these gadgets and stuff like that. But apparently, the traditional market wasn't working. But now, it doesn't matter. There's podcasts on knitting, talking to your cat. I mean, those type of things that would never get on broadcast TV. And
Hmm.
now all these people with all our knowledge, like Dan happily contributed to the YouTube land last week and made this great noodle video,
Hmm.
how to
By the
make
way,
some.
Dan, by the way, Dan, how many hits are you up to on that one?
I don't know. You'll have to check for me. I'm afraid to launch it.
All right, I'm going to check while you guys are. Go
Well,
ahead and continue talking.
and now somebody over in Australia can watch Dan make noodles and eat a recipe that Dan invented, man. And I just find that so refreshing that basically the world has gotten so small now because of that. And I'm shocked that like the educational materials I put up there on guitar, music theory, I get hits, from literally from around the world. And I go look at other videos and I can tell they're getting hits from all over the world, and it just really shows you the thirst of knowledge out there and the power of how this video revolution is in so many ways.
Dan is up to 75 views,
Yes, dance
and he's
conquering
got
the
four
YouTube.
and a half stars.
All right, man. I'm highly rated.
Man,
Oh,
Dan, you
and
getting gypped. You should be 5 stars, man. That was classic. That was great. You got to do some more of those, Dan.
Yeah, I've actually got the next 2 or 3 planned out. So there
Ooh.
will be more cooking with Chef Dan.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
only thing I'd ask you, Dan, is tell me what measurements, because I don't understand your measurements on how much of stuff you put into the bowls.
As much as you want.
Okay. So, like, I could put 3 tons of garlic garlic or ginger in there.
If you like that much, go for it, man.
Well, Dan, let me ask this question: Did you ever think
Well,
you'd have a TV show of you a cooking TV show that you'd make?
That no, that was not on my list of things
Yeah,
that I thought likely that I would do.
yeah, and now you basically got a production system to put that together and a place to distribute it. And I find that as being so refreshing in so many ways.
mhm.
And I bet you before the end of the
Yeah,
year, that'd probably be up to hundreds, perhaps even thousands of views.
well, maybe. Well, I will have to take your advice and need under advisement. I've already got some things like that I want to improve for the next episode. Like I need to improve the camera work quite a bit. I've got some ideas to address that, and I'll try to be a slightly more uh, informational in regards to
Well,
my measurements.
I know when I do my things, people like sound effects. So you go do or woo. Does that little sound effects every once in a while, Dan?
Go
It
to
keeps
the Creative Commons um, sound or sound studios and just pick up mute soundtracks and everything off the Creative Commons licenses.
Well, you know, with that 10-minute limit, it's like you either go to multiple episodes, or like it might be a cool idea to do like the Benny Hill music and then like fast forward. Can you do that with iMovie?
Yeah,
Like have it fast forward through a bit?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually not a bad way to do it. One of the things, and I think we need to. We'll do another podcast talking about. I'll share a little bit of my knowledge about. We've all cut video now, and we can kind of maybe do a podcast on how to cut how to edit video, and
Yeah, you could.
so I think that'd be a good cast. And we don't want to do all. We don't do everything all in one cast here. Well, I guess do we
We
get?
do everything on this in one cast,
Well, do we
but
have
the old
anything
system,
else
no.
we want to talk about this week?
Well, I did want to just mention, for those people who used to watch, there's a little difference in me, and that is I don't have glasses anymore. Not to broke them, so I am tempted to break them just out of the fact I don't have to wear them anymore. But I
Wow,
had the LASIK surgery, and I'm I'm a fan. Had it done 3 days ago. So for 3 days,
amazing.
no glasses, and hey, this is something I've been wearing glasses for 21 years now, and I would suggest that for anybody. Um, but anyway, that's just a little side note. Hit it right before I hit 29, so I'm good.
Let me ask this to meet because one of the questions that I have on it, like you basically like 20/20 vision, basically.
Actually, I have when with the follow up exam, they they do an eye test, and I had 20/20 in each eye, and when both eyes are used, I have 20/15.
So you
So
actually
actually, I have
have
better than
better.
20/20 vision.
Wow.
Yep, yep. The only thing that's weird is, and this is something that's gonna decrease over time, is that at night, whenever you look at lights, you see a halo around, or whenever you look at lights in general, you see a kind of a halo around them. But
I don't know. I kind of see a halo around it now with my glasses.
yeah, that's what I said to the lady is, but you do notice more of a halo now, or with LASIK,
Eh,
you do notice it more.
would it be? Is it harder to night drive then, or not really, or is it?
I wouldn't do any night driving the first couple days. Yesterday night, I went out. We went to a Italian restaurant near my home to celebrate my birthday, and I drove there. But as I got on the highway and it was kind of dark and there were so many lights, it started blinding me a little bit. So I had somebody else drive home or drive me home after that. But I mean, tonight I drove again and it didn't have any problems.
Well, I think it's fascinating. This in a couple of days, you're already out and about.
Oh no, I mean I was out and about the next. I mean I went in Thursday to get the surgery. Friday morning I was back at work looking at the computer screen all day.
Wow,
So it
wow.
was. I mean I have to do a lot more breaks and But that's just common sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, Meat, if you wore glasses and you wanted to be cool, this is what you had to do: get prescription sunglasses.
Yeah. No, I just get regular sunglasses now, and I'm happy with that.
Well, this is like when I act without when I have a role that means that I can't have glasses for. Basically, I'm doing this, and I remember one time the guy was saying, "Look over here." And I said, "I can't see your hand. You need to walk up and go backwards so I can see where you want me to look at." And
Yeah.
I thought, well, but I'm such a good actor. I look like I can see.
And this is the side effect of doing LASIK is you have to do eye drops constantly for
Well,
the
like you,
first couple of days at least. But
yeah. Well, that's great. Well, happy belated birthday from the Return of Whatever game, Amit.
thank you guys. And I just was wondering, what's the state of affairs in the educational technologies? I actually visited the SFA campus and talked to their sysadmin on the WebCT side of things, or actually the Blackboard side, as they say now. Their current sysadmin was actually a really good friend of mine um, back in college, who was it's kind of funny how he got the job, but um, he was uh, telling me that Blackboard has got some interesting quirks.
Well,
How are things going with that?
we I think I think that might be a podcast by itself. Uh, uh,
Yeah, that might be for next week, dude.
yeah, that might be a good one for next week because I don't think we could get that in a couple of things. Um,
Well, I do have one question. I know that Dan, you've been working on um, extending out the WebCT, um, or sorry, the extending your implementation of Blackboard by using their custom API. How are you finding that? Is that working pretty well for you, or are you feeling that it's cumbersome and doesn't make any sense?
I think it makes sense, but it is a bit cumbersome, and it's got some serious slowness slowness issues,
Hmm.
performance issues. I mean, I think interfacing with the API takes a lot longer than it should.
That's
Moodle, everybody.
actually, the funny thing is, I talked to um, another, well, actually, Dan's old boss, Randy Watson, or, or sorry, Randy McDonald, in regards to how he wants somebody to come up and create a WebCT Blackboard competitor that's supported. And unfortunately, nobody is allowed to because of the copyrights involved.
Moodle.
Yeah, well, Moodle unfortunately can't be. There's no support for it, and that's what universities want. They want support so they can mitigate their risks.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
they
It's
want somebody. They got to have somebody to blame.
yeah.
well back in the early days of me teaching online. I did everything HTML and bulletin board type things, and that was the and email. I mean, and uh, it worked. It worked, and there's a lot of things that I like about the systems, and there's a lot of things that could be improved. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
But the thing that WebCT and these other products have are they have a lot of value adds that you may not necessarily use, but they do add value, such as the ability to um, instantaneously grade an assignment. And on top of that, the ability to audit that, these are what, like if a student took an assignment twice, you can audit when they took it and, go back and see what the grading is. Stuff that you don't necessarily use, but if that ever comes into question, you have access to that information versus if you just had a web page with the bulletin board system out there, you wouldn't have any way to verify any of that info.
yeah, I won't disagree.
I mean, but yeah, we can have that as a later topic
I,
when we actually kind of about that show, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. We might ought to do that one next week.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good show for this week, gentlemen. And as always, you can check out the returnofwhatever.com and uh, check out all the good information there. Dan's maintaining the site and it looks great, Dan.
We have a website.
Yeah, it's somewhere back in the internet.
Yeah,
It,
it's one of those blog. It's a blog spot site.
yeah, whatever.blogspot.com.
Yep.
Yep, I
Well,
remember that. We also do we still have a do we have a Facebook group or anything of that sort, or should we start working through all that
yeah,
cross
well,
I don't
training?
think we do have a Facebook group.
yeah.
Do
I
we?
think we had a MySpace one, but Facebook was kind of just coming didn't have that functionality. I think that I think we need to
Well, we
we
will
need to do
have
that.
one soon then.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Fans of Return of Whatever.
Yeah.
We
So
get a,
we'll
we get a mashup group. What was it? A mosh group together.
well whatever groups we put up, we'll put up on the Return of Whatever website, and we definitely do still accept or receive emails on returnofwhatever@gmail.com. Um, and do we have any other contact info? Because I know that people do contact us, and we do read your emails. I remember years ago when we first started Return of Whatever, we got a pretty good amount of emails, and we will talk about them if you have any questions or any topics you'd like to talk about.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you so much. Dan, you got something to say?
No.
Okay,
Dan definitely won the steering contest.
Dan, you're a stoic, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm the champion.
Well,
I'm gonna say, man, I think it's unfair. I just went through eye surgery, so I'm supposed to blink more.
well, for the Return of Whatever, I'm Herbert Midgley.
I'm Daniel Nelson.
And I'm Amit Bedia.
And we'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you so much.
Bye.
No.
And